What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic. Yes, I'm back, and hopefully this time I'll stay back. Fingers crossed on that one. I've had some updates on my health, but I'm not going to cover all of that. Let's just get back in and cover what we're doing today. And today, we've got a double pair on the go. We're going to do both of these. This is the Mark 1 Golf by Multiply, available on his Patreon, and the Mark 1 Caddy by Multiply, also available on his Patreon. I will put a link to his Patreon in the description below. I believe the Caddy you can get for free. I'm not sure about the Golf, if I'm being truly honest. But you can head over, take a look. You don't have to pay for anything if you don't want to. Definitely sign up, though. Getting the Caddy for free is just top notch, absolutely spectacular. So thank you very much to Multiply. Let's get on what we're going to do today, because I am planning to hopefully make a matching pair. It's going to be the Mark 1 Golf and the Mark 1 Caddy, both looking very, very similar because, well, they are sort of the same car anyway. One of them is just a pickup truck, one of them's a hatchback. I have done a few changes, so if we go into here, one thing I have done is put some seats in this, because for some reason it wasn't working. It was showing the seats as empty. I will be using some Golf seats that do come with the Caddy, not the Golf, weirdly enough, but there we go. We've also got some seats in the Caddy. They're going to swap out and go to the correct interior. The other thing I have done is I've made it so that we can pit Multiply's i4 turbocharged SR20 engine in both of these vehicles. So this one's going to get one, and this one over here is also going to get one as well. And I believe that's all I've changed. I haven't changed any of the statistics or anything like that, or any of the stats for the vehicles. All I've done is make it so the engine can go in and fix both of these so the interior loaded in and would let me put seats in, because this one here, when I had it on my game file, the seats, it wasn't installed any seats, so it just said dummy. And then when you come into the game after you've bought it, it won't allow you to place any seats. So I swapped it from dummy just to a random seat, just so it would let me place seats so that I can put whatever seats I want in a bit later on. I actually did the same for the Caddy for some reason as well, though that was definitely working before. But there we go. This is the plan for today. This is what we're going to do with these two beautiful cars. We need to get them into the car wash. I've got two, so I'm not going to bother showing you cleaning it all up. I'm just going to get them cleaned. We'll get them back in the shop, and we'll start getting everything else stripped off. That's both our Mark 1 Volkswagens all cleaned, still looking pretty poor for themselves, but let's be honest, they're up in the air. We need to check for oil pans. This one does have an oil pan, so let's go and start draining that one out. As we get this one going, we'll check the other one for the oil pan. There is oil in there. Down we go, and there is also an oil pan over on this side as well, so we do need to drain them both. Over we go. Not used to working on the second one, but there we go. That's pretty clean in there. Quite a lot of it as well. I mean, that was the better looking engine of the two, to be fair. So let's get both of these back down a notch. Oh, I say that, we're going to have to pull some exhaust out, aren't we? I should have done that first, but there we go. Oh, so we need to be in the engine bay first anyway, so there we go. I was kind of right in my own head. So let's get on with this. Let's get the turbo out. Out you come there. We can't get that front exhaust section off. We should be able to pull this off, but from underneath. But we will need that starter as well. So there we go. That should be it for the time being. Front exhaust, that's going to be afterwards. Yeah, that should be fine. So back up in the air with you, because we need to take the gearbox out. And we're going to do the same with this one. Off with that starter. Out you come. This one doesn't have a turbo, but we will get the exhaust manifold off, obviously, so that we can get that front exhaust section out. I say it doesn't have a turbo. It doesn't have a turbo at the moment. They are going to have matching engines going in there. Then we need to get the gearbox out. I've already done the starter, so let's get you back up in the air. Feels weird working on two. Definitely not something I am used to. Let's get back under here. So let's have a look then. So we will grab this front exhaust section now, and we'll nip over here and grab this gearbox out. Out you come, nice and easy. That should be it for that. Is that it, do we think? I didn't realise there was an auto zoom button. That's made me so happy I've just found that, but there we go. Back down you come. We'll give you a go in a second, and we want to get back under here. We are going to grab this front exhaust section, although it shouldn't make any difference because it's not attached to the manifold, just to be on the safe side. We do also have front drive axles, but it looks like it's going to let me just take them out without any worries whatsoever, theoretically. So we'll see if it lets me pull the engine out on that one. Let's get you down. Let's run around and get the crane, and let's get it pulled out of the Caddy first, because that's the one that was done first. Fingers crossed. Looks like we got everything, and out that comes nice and easy. Then we're going to move the crane over to the Golf, and we're going to pull you out of there as well. And that's what we like. Nice and easy. I was just about to put that away, but I'm not going to. Because what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to go into the shop, thanks to TK Basics. So let's go back to home. Get this reset. Normally, your shop looks like this with TK Basics. You can press Z on your keyboard, and then you can rotate through options on car parts. So you can buy full crate engine, tuned crate engines, or engine tuned kits, I believe, which is all of the parts. So we're going to nip in, and we just want to buy tuned engines, and we're going, you know, obviously you've got all the engines in here, including any that are modded in as well. Fantastic. So we want to go to page 2. There it is. i4 Multy's Turbo SR20, and I want to buy 2 of them. So bizarre. There we go. Absolutely, that was a lot. That was a lot. Can we now just drop one of these in and hope that it works? Yeah, no, we can't. I didn't pay any attention to the fact that this was a vertical mounted engine instead of a horizontal mounted engine. All right, I feel like I've made a mistake on that one. I don't think we're going to go for that. I don't know what to do for the moment. So I'm going to go and figure this one out. I'm going to go pick an engine to go in it, make sure it all works and stuff like that. And then we will come back and we shall continue with our beautiful Mark 1 Golf and Mark 1 Caddy, making a matching pair of these. Because honestly, something I would love to do in real life, if I could get one of each of these. I mean, if I could only have one, it would be the Caddy 100%. But if I could ever have enough money to get both, I would make them a matching pair in real life. So let's crack on. I'm going to go away, swap some engine stuff out, buy some new engines, and when we come back, we'll take a look at them inside our shiny matching pairs engine bays. So we are back. Let's try this again with a different engine. What I've gone for, in fact, oh no. What I've gone for is I've gone for the one that was in the Caddy, this i4 double overhead cam at 4x4 engine. I know it seems a bit bizarre, but it is going to work. Trust me. This one doesn't actually have any drive shafts or drive axles anyway, so that's not going to make any difference. If we jump into this one, I can't remember if it does or not. I do think this one also doesn't need a drive shaft. This is front wheel drive, but neither of them has that front drive axle piece in it anyway, so it shouldn't make much difference going forward. Let's jump back into our inventory. I'm probably not going to need any of that. I'm going to keep it anyway, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell these 2, and I'm going to go buy 2 more of this i4 double overhead cam at 4x4 engine. So we go back into our shop, we're going to press Z a couple more times and get to here, and then we want that i4 double overhead cam at 4x4 engine. I think it's this one. I'm going to just quickly buy it. Just the one. We'll move this one over to the Caddy so I can double check if it is, because this only fits one engine in it, and that is the right one. So we'll just quickly pop that one in our Caddy, and we'll go buy another one. There it is. Not another one. And then we're going to go pop that one in the Golf and see what it all looks like. There we go. It does fit. That's what we wanted to see. Let's put you away for the moment and double check how this looks. See, it fits in there. All right. I did do a little bit of adjustment, moving it a little bit just to stop it clipping. And I did also make it so that the exhaust will line up as well. As you can see, no front drive axles running, or the main drive shaft running through the center there is missing on both, but that fits. That's what I wanted to see. Let's go back over to the Caddy, double check this one. I mean, this is the one that came in it, so realistically it should fit up anyway. There we go. And as you can see, no front drive axles on this one or the rear one, even though this is technically 4-wheel drive, and this one is only front wheel drive. So there we go. We did get engines in. I put the crane away. That was definitely a mistake. So let's go grab you again. Let's get this engine out of here, because we don't want you in there for the moment. And we're going to move that one over to this second, to the Caddy. And we're also going to pull the engine out of there. Now, for the moment, we don't need the crane anymore. We have got liquids to drain from the Caddy, brake servo, coolant reservoir. Is that it? Is that it for liquids? Okay, so no steering rack and no wishy-washy reservoir, because we don't have any, let's just double check. Yep, no wishy-washy reservoir on there. What have we got inside the Caddy? The Golf, sorry, get myself mixed up. The Golf does have a wishy-washy reservoir, brake servo, and the coolant reservoir. This one is just missing the steering reservoir. So there we go. I'm going to get the liquids drained out of all of these, get all the underside suspension and everything like that stripped down, the rest of this engine base stripped out, and then we can work on the bodywork for these two beasts and also get the matching liveries, because I have made liveries for these. They're nothing special, but I want them to match and I want them to look cool. So I'm going to get all of this stripped out, and then when we come back, we'll start sorting out all the bodywork on these, making them so that they're sort of the same. That's everything mechanical on our beautiful Mark 1 Volkswagens, all sorted and ready to go. Engines, the underside, everything like that. The engine bay is all sorted. We're obviously going to change a few bits of colour on here, but I did want to just quickly talk about some new things on TK Aftermarket that I haven't seen before. I know it's been a while since I've been here, but there we go. So you've got lovely new shocks, both front and back. Let's just go into the shop. Let's go back to the normal shop and go on to suspension. Now, you do have some end links. I haven't figured out how to make these work properly yet. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the current builds I'm working on, these two don't work. So that's double wishbone. Obviously, we don't have double wishbone, so these two should be going on it. One's long, one's short, and the one I need is in the middle. But now, because I've used both of them, I have accidentally broken it. As you can see, the bolt clips up here now. This is on all of the sides, and it does vary. For example, if you put the longer one on, then put the standard one back on, the bolt starts down here. If you put the shorter one on, then the standard one on, the bolt goes up here. I did test all of that, swapping and changing just to make sure. And it is the same, obviously, on the Golf. I accidentally put the short ones on, then put the normal one back on, and now it's obviously bolted up at the top here. But there we go, enough of that. Very briefly, let's go back in. If we jump into here, we've got modded double wishbone shock absorbers, which are cool, and then obviously the McPherson shocks that we are using it today. New front strut mount. I don't know why that was so hard to say. But also, if you've got leaf springs in the back, you can actually drop or raise it just a little bit, just using leaf springs. We'll try that in another episode. I'm not going to do that today because these two are already the right height I kind of want with them. So we're not going to do any of that today. But I will try that again in the future. And obviously, you've got the rear springs to go on that rear mount if it needs it, and then obviously your rear shocks as well, which you've got. They obviously don't add any more power, but they're just different and cool, and we like things that are different and cool. So I'm quite pleased with them. I think they're very cool. If we just jump into the rear end on this one, you can see obviously we got leaf springs, but as I said, this one's already been adjusted in the car editor. So if you don't have access to the car editor, you could actually bring this one down just a little bit because it's got them leaf springs. Same with the Golf. The Golf doesn't have the leaf springs, but for the Golf, you can use the rear spring bit here. That's the front. Rear ones, there we go. So you can still drop it just the same using the rear springs. Obviously, you'd need the front springs if you want to drop them. So that's pretty cool. Just something new that I noticed whilst playing around, but everything is in these cars. It is all shiny and new, and I do think they're both looking good. They're both pretty much identical. Same engine. Engine bay's a little bit different. We've got some springs just popping through there, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. What I might do is I can't paint the shocks invisible, can I? That's just ridiculous. I don't know what to do with there. I'm unsure what to do with this. I'm thinking maybe we paint the springs and cap invisible on both sides and then paint the shock the same colour as whatever the engine bay is or the rest of the car, that kind of thing. So hopefully that will not be as obvious because that'll be body coloured hopefully, and these bits will be invisible. That might be worth a shot. We'll try that out a little bit later. The battery Volkswagen badges are both upside down. There's no point going in and just rotating the battery 180 degrees. You will know what I was trying to achieve there. The only difference is this one has got the Haltech ECU, which is the B option, and this one has got, if I can get in there, the AEM one, which is the... No, sorry, that one's the B. The other one's the A. Is that right? I thought it was the other way around, if I'm being honest. No, the A is the Haltech and the B is the other one. That's pretty much the only difference. Everything else is pretty much the same. Brakes, suspension, everything like that. Just the exhausts are on different layouts. But there, that's cool. Now, we need to get these bodywork all stripped down. So let's start pulling it off our beautiful little Golf here, because we want to put these back together looking about the same. Shame. Looking about the same was the words I was definitely looking for. We need to get you out as well. What else have we got? Oh, I don't need the exhaust off because that's part of the frame and stuff. Any of this interior stuff, it doesn't look like it. Let's go take a look. 1% on the body, 21% on the frame. Obviously, we know we need to sort the frame. Everything below this should now be at nothing showing up. That's what I was hoping for, and that should all be body parts and wheels. Body parts and wheels is definitely what it should be. So let's get the frame of this one sorted out. Now, we bought this car. What did we buy it for? Wow, that's a lot of money. Almost 55,000. But we could currently sell it for 71,000. So we would be making a profit if we sold it as it is now. But there we go. Can't believe we paid almost 55,000. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Buy price was 16,000. Profit is currently 54. Been too long since I've played this game. I'm glad to be back into it. We paid 16,000 for it. I still think that's it's probably about fair real world money for a Mark 1 Golf these days, which is a bit disappointing. Frames at 21%. Let's get it going. I'm just going to go a cheeky 1,000. Oh, bang on. That is what we like to see there. We'll come back to the welder in a minute. Let's get stripping down the Caddy. Obviously got the front end off there. Headlights need to come out as well as this piece. That is a piece on the actual front end. What else have we got? Door out, you come. We need to grab these seats out. So let's just do that now. We're not using these. So you can go and you can go. And we want to go back into body disassembly. Rear window. Oh, I've just realised I can't change this. That's going to mess me up a little bit. I thought I was going to be able to change this because it's an option. Let's just pop into the shop a second and have a look. Where's my Caddy? There it is. Details is what I was looking for to change the rest of the interior, which doesn't look like I can do. That's actually a little bit disappointing, but never mind. It's too late to change that one now. So let's just crack on, get the rest of this stripped off. Out you come here. Definitely going to need them tail lights. Rear bumper and license plate we're going to need. Bed can stay. Out you come. Trim pieces have gone down there. That looks to be all of that. That looks to be all of that. Let's just double check. 3%. We've definitely still got something left on there. What have we got? If we scroll all the way down to the bottom. Car part 1. Let's jump back into the shop. Car part 1 is this piece here. There we go. Out you come. That was nice and easy. So now we need to get this frame sorted out. Let's just jump in quickly. What did we pay for the car? 30,000. That is a bit much for a Caddy, even a very custom specific 2024 model Caddy. Don't know how that's happened, but there we go. Definitely not what we were hoping to pay for it. 48% on that one there. So we've got a little bit to do, but not as much as we had on the Golf. So I'm going to say 1,200. Still 1,000. I'm still massively wrong. Let's jump in, though. We need to go back to the Golf and have a look at a few options because we do kind of want these to look the same. That's the look I'm going for. So I feel like we should start maybe with some front bumpers. I'm feeling like potentially this one here. I like the little black lip at the bottom, which means I also want to do on the fenders. I think I want the normal fenders. We go there and there. On we go with that. Normal fenders. I want the rear bumper probably with a little bit. We'll go with it. We'll try and get them matched up in a minute. We'll ignore the rear clamshell. I definitely want little arches on these. So I think it's going to be that one and that one. It could be this one. I'm not sure on that one. We'll hope we've got that one right. And there was some side skirts, I believe. Or they're part of the trim, aren't they? So we'll find out if we got the trim right. Let's try and get this... Never mind. We'll start with the fenders. On you go there. And obviously these are going to look different once we change the colour later on. So then this part here, yeah. Oh no, you're car part 4. So I need to go in and buy car part 4. Wherever you may be hiding. Car part 1, car part 4. See, I want ones with the black trim. So it's probably going to be this one here. What was already on it? 4C. Which I did like. But we want the one with the black trim. So I think that's 4B. On you go onto there. I should have potentially got the right one of these. Maybe. We shall see when we get there round to it a little bit later on. On you go there. And we'll put that rear bumper on. I'm not sure how I feel about the rear bumper. Because I know the Caddy doesn't have a rear bumper. So what I want to do now is I need to get a front end. Let's have a look. Front ends, where are you? I think we go for this one here. I reckon. I don't know. Let's put it on and see what happens. I think that could be the wrong one. Let's put our bumper on and see how it looks after that. Yeah, see, now we've got the gap in the grille. Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. We don't want that front end. I think I just want this standard front end. We'll go with you because that seems to put an extra bit of trim. That's what we got. There we go. Now it's not got a gap there. There's a little bit of trim poking through. So now we'll put that front bumper back on and we'll come back to the grill and stuff later, because what we want to do is we want to try and get this Caddy sort of matched up if we can. So let's come out of the Golf, go back into the Caddy, and we will start with the front bumper. So I think this one here, the Rabbit GTI, that's looking very similar. We like that. What else have we got to do around here? So I want, I want side skirts, but not any of them. Can I do side skirts separately? Doesn't look like it. I've confused myself now. I really have. I think it's going to be the Rabbit GTI. Although, no, it's the Golf GTI, isn't it? Golf GTI and then Golf GTI. Let's just try this and see how this looks. On you go there. And on you go there. So that should be roughly around the same as that. That's looking pretty good. Do we need to put a front end on first? We do. So let's go and see our front end options, wherever they may be hiding. Car park, front bumper, front end. So we went with that one. It's not going to matter, though, because it's going to be hidden. So we'll pop you on. That doesn't leave a gap, so there we go. That's what we want to see. And then we'll get that front bumper on. And the fronts of these should look very similar now. And yes, they do. Very, very close. That is what we like to see. So now, what is this part? Car part 3. So I want car part 3 to make this one look the same. And I think it's going to be 3B. Right, no, 3B didn't give me any trim. So I don't want 3B. Let's have a look what other options we got. Let's try 3D. That looks like it could be it. We pop you on. What are you going to show up as? 3D was what was on it before. And that is giving us a trim arch. Not quite the same trim arch. Maybe we can swap that. But it is giving us the blacked out bit on there. So let's go back to the Golf. Off we go, off we go. And I think if it wasn't the one I picked, it can't be that one because that's got the different headlights. Oh, it's the rear anyway. Stop being an idiot. So maybe it's this one? I don't know. I'm going to leave it for the minute and see what happens after we've painted it. See how it looks. But if we carry on around this one, rear bumper. Obviously, we've got a big chunky rear bumper on the Golf. So we would preferably like a big chunky rear bumper on the Caddy. But I don't think we've got one. Not that will fit with the bodywork, at least anyway. Let's try C. And see what C looks like. I think C is going to be too much. It does sort of give the same feel. That one's got a bottom lip, though. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. That is sort of like the closest, though. I think. What was the other option? I know it's not that one. Which means it could just be the B option. But I think the B option is what we already... Don't know what I'm doing. What we already had on there. Let's try you again. If the game will catch up with me. So we'll pick the B option. It was originally the B option. So that's cleaner, but not quite the same. I think we leave it at that, though, because this has got like more of an exhaust and stuff like that. If we can get the front and side sort of looking similar, we can see that they're on the same build. And I feel like that's what we're going to go for. So now let's do our... What's next? That's not the button I'm looking for. I'm not very good at this, am I? We want car part 4, which is the grille. So, we go back up to the top. I think we go for... Do we go for the... What have we got available for the Golf? I want to make sure these two are definitely the same. So we can do... I can't do the red trim with single lights, which I wanted. But maybe we could do the debadged red trim at dual lights. And that will go on both. So let's go for you on there, and then go back to the Caddy, debadged on there. So we'll pop you on. I know it's not the same one. I would have preferred to go to single lights, but I do quite like this red trim, especially as we're going to keep a lot of this red accenty stuff going on around it. So let's now see if we can do the same on this one. Double trim, debadged. Double trim it, debadged. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good so far. Headlights is up next. Where are we? We're on the Caddy. So we want dual headlights. Maybe these ones with the little halo. Make them look a little bit more modern. Let's give that a go on there. Go back to the Golf. And this is where we find out we can't buy these ones for the Golf. We can indeed. So we get you and you on there. Let's get you all put in. See what this looks like. On you go. On you go. Over to the Caddy. On you go. And on you go. That's looking pretty cool. They're almost identical from the front, and this is what I was going for. I wanted a matching set. I know it's not going to quite be perfect because obviously one's a pickup and one's a hatchback, hence why we're going to keep the rear end different, slightly different on these, but from the front and hopefully from the sides they'll look very similar. That's definitely what I'm going for. So let's crack on. I'm not going to sit and make you watch all of this. The rest of this will probably be quite boring. So I'm just going to go and buy now what I need to buy: the hood, the doors, and we'll get some interior items and get all of that sorted. I'm disappointed I couldn't change this in here, because I did have a plan. Unfortunately, now one's going to have a beige interior and one's going to have a grey interior, which is a bit disappointing, but we'll give them their own uniqueness. There we go. That's what we're aiming for. It's a bit of a shame. Is there nothing I could do in here? Oh, I already know there isn't, because you can't change the dashboard and stuff. So never mind. I've messed that one up, but it is what it is. They're still going to be pretty similar ride height-wise, and their stance and things like that should be about the same. So now I'm going to go buy the body parts, get all of them ready, get it all finished off. You'll come back as I do the last bits of the body, and then we'll get it into the paint shop, or get them into the paint shop to check out the livery I have created for these beasts to hopefully keep them looking very, very identical. Well, there they are then, the beautiful matching Mark 1 Volkswagens. Golf on one side, Caddy on the other. I absolutely love both of these cars, and I'd love to have a matching pair of them in real life. It'd be absolutely incredible, but probably never going to be able to afford that, which is why we build them in games, because we can still enjoy it nonetheless. It'd be absolutely amazing to own these. But anyway, everything is back on them. We are just missing, I believe, let's just double check, should just be wheels and tyres missing on you. Nip over to here and double check this one just to make sure. Just the wheels and tyres missing. That's what we like. There we go. So they have got the little bit of engine bay in there. I have stuck with this rear bumper. All the windows are in all the way around. There is a spoiler option for this rear window if you want to go for that one, but I didn't go for the spoiler trunk on the Caddy, so we're not going for the spoiler window on the Golf there. On the inside, you can put a roll cage in this, a couple of options, but it goes on car part 2. So we just jump back into this, come off of the Caddy, back into the Volkswagen car part 2. So you can have just the fuel cap, a roof rack, I'm assuming, and the full cap, and a roll cage, and I'm assuming the fuel cap. Car part 3 just is what it is, and we covered car part 4 earlier. The rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. Apart from the seats, we have got the proper Mark 1 seats that Multy has included, I believe, with the Caddy. You just need to go in the files and grab them separately and move them to a different folder. It is all explained how to do all of that. Looking cool, along with the beautiful Golf GTI steering wheel. And even though I couldn't quite get it to perfectly match because we've got tan interior in the Caddy, we still have those lovely Golf GTI seats with the fabric. The reason I wanted to change the inside of this is because there is one option that has this material printed on that back wall as well with a darker interior. It would have been epic, but I didn't go and change the details. It is literally all on me. So we're ignoring that. And if you do swap that one, you could swap the door cards out to ones that have got the matching pattern for the Caddy as well. Fortunately, they don't have the same ones for the seats. Be nice to have the doors that match the seats for the Golf. That would be absolutely incredible. And maybe, just maybe multiply, if you're up to it, a rear bench that matches in as well that we could place in. That would be absolutely absolutely incredible and would really, really finish this mod off. Not that these mods aren't absolutely fantastic, because they really are. I absolutely love them both. But there we go. Let's just do a little bit more with the Caddy. Obviously, we did the bannered windshield, so that they're the same on there. We did, this one was meant to have arms coming up here. I changed that for a flatbed there, mostly because the struts stick up through and I don't like seeing them, so we closed them up. I went for a debadged trunk, no chrome on it. Got rid of all of that, and obviously no spoiler. This was meant to come with the mesh netting, which I did ask Multiply to put in. It was more of a bit of a joke, because in the Caddy community within the UK, you either have a beautiful tailgate or you have the netting. There's no in between. Basically, these tailgates are so hard to get that most people, or expensive wise, most people just go for a netting just so they've got something there. It looks a bit weird without anything. So yeah, I'd love to have a full tailgate on mine if I ever got one. But there we go. That's the Caddy. That's the Golf. Let's get them into the paint shop and check out the liveries I've done for these today. I hope you guys are going to enjoy them. They should be a little bit awesome. And hopefully when these two are together at the end, it's going to look fantastic. The Golf's in the paint booth, ready to go. The Caddy's next door, just to make life a little bit easier. So let's jump in and take a look at what we've got. Although I am quite liking it in this blue. Don't like the solid finish on it, though, with all the little bubbling. But there we go. So let's have a look and see what options we have. I'm feeling I showcased some images a couple of, well, yesterday I think, with a few colours in there, and I went for a matte grey and it looked very, very nice. I want to go lighter than that, maybe not quite that light, kind of like that. I mean, I'm feeling it. It looks good. Plus you got these black trim bits going around as I wanted, the black bumper on there all the way around. The rear arches, I've definitely picked the wrong rear arches. I know that now because we picked colour on it. So let's come back out of that. What arch was this? Rear left fender was C. So let's go back in. We're still in Golf. Good. Rear left fender, I went for C. So maybe it is A. It's none of the wide body ones. I know that. So let's just go for the A's and try them and see what happens when we put a bit of colour on it. It's still just about as wide. Happy with that. So let's get you off of there and not work too fast for the game and put you on there, the A one. And let's go back into paint. Would have had to go to normal mode first, but it just cut out just as I got there. We'll put a light grey on it. We'll go back to matte. And we'll have a look. There we go. That's what I wanted. So you could see a bit of the colour in the arch with the black trim going around. It does stop a little bit for the bumper, but then continues back around at the bottom there. And obviously we've got grey everywhere else. That's what I was going for. Unsure. No, I want to keep a bit of grey at the back. I was going to say, unsure if I want to do the front completely, but then I just realised we've got like an almost all grey going on for the back of the Caddy. So I think that's the colour we're going to go for. Second one in along in the grey. If we go onto here, I can't remember if Multiply put a livery on there. That's the livery we're going with. I've called it Fade Stripe. It's not really much of a fade. It just goes small to big with the gaps going small to big the other way, as you can see on there. I quite like the look of it. It's quite simple, very straightforward. The middle stripe is the center line of the car, and then obviously it goes out from there. One extra thing I do think we want to do is we want to do all screws and rims. I think we just go for a black, you know. I think we just completely black that out. Is that going to do black? I've got, yeah, I can see it. So if we did that all the way up, that would be white. Yeah, I think maybe we go for a red. Not quite that bright. I want it kind of to be a similar sort of red to what's on the ignition coils, as you can see just there, along with the brake calipers. Maybe up a little bit more. So we go up to 80 on there. Well, no, we want to keep that one up as it is. Is 80 going to be about right? It's hard to tell. This one, it's kind of, I think 80 is going to be about right. Maybe a bit more. We'll go down to 70. 70, and then we'll get it painted, holding our breath. That's looking quite good. I do like the fact that it's sort of like grey everywhere. Then you've got all the trims sort of in black, including the window trims and stuff like that. That's looking very, very cool. I do have some other bits to paint. I'm going to do a bit more in the engine bay a bit later on. I'm going to get this exhaust so it's all sort of chromed out all the way front to back, looking quite nice on there. And obviously we still got to do some stuff with them shocks just to make them look a little bit better. But apart from that, I think that's about it for the Golf. So let's swap you with the Caddy. And then we're going to have to make our way back into the paint booth. Round we go, round the corner, open you up. It's going to close itself. We don't need to worry about closing it. We go back onto here. Then what we want to do is we're going to go second to last grey, all the way across to matte again. Too far. There we go. And then, again, I think Multiply did put a livery on, but mine's first anyway. So we've got that fade stripe. Centre line again, front to back, exactly the same. That's annoyed me a little bit. I'm wondering if I could maybe just do... Oh, I didn't want to come out of it entirely. So let's take you off for a second. Go back in and paint the car. I'm going to go second grey, across to matte. It'd be much easier to go the other way. I should realise that, but it doesn't matter. On we go, on we go. It's a little bit messed up there, but I can live with that. This one seems to have it on the windshield, so I might take that one off and paint it black so it's not... So it's the same as the Golf, should I say. It does look like we've got a bit of a strip on the door as well. There's a lot. So if I take the door off and paint the door matte grey, take the cover off and paint the cover matte black, that should work. Trim pieces are all looking pretty good. Front and back, it is what it is. I think we should go for that. We do need to go in here, though. I can't remember. I think I did all screws, but not rims, didn't I? I can't remember now. I'm going to go all screws, including rims. And we're going to go for the same red on these, 70 and 100. Double check it. It looks about right. Let's get you painted. Fingers crossed. So now I want to, when it's finished, I want to take off this door, take out the windshield, and we've already got the bed off. So then if we go back into paint... Oh, it's because I haven't played the game in a while. We go back into here and we just paint the door in that grey on matte, nothing else, paint. Then we want to go to the windshield. On you go. I think this is black on the Golf. So if we just go for a matte black on here, should have definitely gone the other way. And hope that that's going to look good. Let's just try this on for size. That's looking a bit better on there. On you go. Now we don't have a bit of a trimmer painting on it. On you go back on there and put the mirror back on. We do need to paint the bed cover though. Back in here we go. Bed cover, and I just want that a matte black, I think. Mostly because of the livery, and it can take a long time to get a livery lined up, especially when it was as far out as that one was. But I do think that looks all right. We've got a bit of a matte black bed cover on there. So I think that's it. We've painted them both. Got some parts to paint in there, but we will come to that later. Let's get these two back on the lifter and let's see how they look. You can go on lifter 2, and I need to run back out and go and grab the Golf. Up we go. In we go into here. Let's carry on in. Let's just go through the shutter rather than through the doorway. Put this one back on the lifter, and then we can get a better look of how good they look next to each other with their grey and black stripes. That's looking so good. I'm impressed with that. Do we take that windshield out and just make that a similar colour just to be on the safe side? Have we got any extra trim pieces painted on this? It doesn't look like it. Trunk looks a different colour. Maybe it's just the light reflecting off of it. But it'll do because we've got the black bed, so it kind of ties in with that a little bit, I guess. Let's just go and get this window done so that we can confirm that they are the same. On we go. We just want to go matte black. Oh, it's not even doing anything, is it? So maybe we do a paint and mix with the matte black. Awkward doing that when one's got it and one hasn't. Sometimes it can come out looking incredibly weird. There we go. Now we do have some slightly greyed handles, and these are body matched. I think we should probably fix that. There's part of the window on the Caddy where it's a fixed item on the Golf. We just kind of want like a medium grey. A little bit of gloss on there maybe. Let's give it a bash and see what we can figure out. Probably a bit longer than you all thought this video was going to be. So it's not black. It's just sort of like a grey, but not in a matte. So let's go over to gloss. It's got a bit of a shine to it. Do we go down one more? We'll go down one more. We'll give that a go, and we'll see. I bet I've done the wrong one, haven't I? Probably. Oh, that's not bad. It's like the same colour as the trim, which is what it is on the Golf. Good effort. Nailed it first time. Pleased with myself on that one. And now we should have an almost perfect matching pair, apart from that interior, of Caddy and Golf of our Mark 1s. There we go. Oh, I love it. It looks fantastic. We've just got some wheels to go and a few extra little bits of painting. It's going to be cool. What wheels do you think we should go for? Should we just jump in now? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a factory front wheel on the Golf, which is these ones. Are they the same all the way around? 225, 35, 16, ET. Oh, they've got ET at one side. So is it the front that needs ET or is it the rear that needs ET? Glad I did the bolts on the Golf as well. That's too far, isn't it? So it's the rears that need ET. So let's put one of you on the rear. Tucked in wheels, so we won't be able to turn it or anything like that. But this is a show car build looking pretty good. Now, I believe for the Caddy, we did have just a front and rear one anyway. But they might all be the same size. 245, 25, 16. Yeah, they are. So we'll put you on the back there, looking quite nice. It just gives us a base size, so we know what we're sort of going for if we want to change them and things like that. At the moment, they're both 16s with not a lot of tread on the tyre, so it looks like we probably will be keeping them at 16s. They're very similar, aren't they? Ride height-wise and everything. That looks so good. So good. We just need to pick a matching pair of wheels. So for the Caddy, it's a 245, 25, 16. And for the Golf, it's a 225, 35, 16. Interesting. So I need ET for the Golf, but not for the Caddy. What do we think will look good on these split up? I'm really unsure. Really unsure, to be honest with you. I do think something sporty looking, but, you know, maybe something like this. It's a little 5-spoke looking quite nice. Maybe we do a black and white on it if we can. What have we got? I'll be honest, at the moment, none of these are screaming out to me. They're maybe the rim at Modern 2. What else have we got? Could go for one of Multiply's ones. That would fit well, wouldn't it? What I don't want to do is put some just bog standard wheels on the cars that look like they came with it. I want something that looks like we've upgraded the wheels. Maybe we go for one of these Volk style ones. These do look quite good when you two-tone them. Got the brake caliper in red, so if we sort of did like that, but maybe with a white rim. I'm thinking, let's just try 2 of them for the moment. Let's go see what we can paint them, just to see if I can get the sort of colour in my head that I've got going on. So we go on to there. I want to go for the matte black and then move this across to white and see what happens. That is kind of exactly what I was thinking. Is there any slightly better looking versions of it? I think it's got to be that one there. White rim, black main part with a few bits of the white coming up through. I quite like that. I'm going to go for that. So then we want to do front wheels for the Caddy. These are all the same size. So this is a 245, 25, 16. Please tell me I bought 16-inch rims. I bought 17s. I went up a size, didn't I? So I want to go 245, 25, 17. That's not going to give me a lot of room, is it? Let's see what it looks like with a tyre on. I'm going to go for some custom tyres. Toyos, I believe, will be good. So we go for a 17. I've forgotten all of the numbers already. 245 at 25 at 17. 245 at 25 at 17. 245 at 25 17. Oh, too far. Let's go for that. Let's put that one on the wheel and see how it looks once we get it on the car in a moment. For the Golf, the fronts were... I can do that in my inventory, can't I? Not ET. 225, 3516. Do I want slightly less meat on the tyre? Probably. What width was it? 225 35. 225 35. 17 225. What if we just went the same size? Let's try the same size and see if that actually works. Off you come on there. We'll get you mounted. We'll get you balanced. We're going to give this a go. If this looks good, I'm just going to choose these for the rest of the wheels. Get them all sized up and everything perfectly off camera. And then I'll bring you back in once we've done it. And probably paint a few of the engine parts in the meantime. Let's get you balanced. You balanced. Then what I want to do is we want to take the front wheel off of the Golf. I may change these bolts to not be painted red. I'm undecided on that section yet. We'll find out. It was the same, wasn't it? Oh, no, the Golf was slightly thinner. There are the 225s on there. Get you all bolted up. Maybe the red sort of suits it. Maybe we'll keep that red. That does look quite good. Was the words I was trying to say, but almost said them in the wrong order. So there we go. We'll try that again. That does look quite good. Thank you. Then slightly thicker ones on the Caddy. We're not... Ooh. I think I've gone too much. 245 25. Oh, it's because I've gone up a tyre size, isn't it? Let's just put it on. We'll have a look. I might have to adjust them in a moment. Is that clipping through? See, that is clipping through. So if I did... So if I did a tyre that was slightly smaller... So that's how far out it comes. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we could match them identically and see if that fits. So they're literally identical. So we'll pull you off. I need to obviously go and separate this tyre. That's that one balanced. So let's try this on for size on our beautiful little Caddy. I do love this. Do absolutely love this. I will be getting around to a highly customized Caddy at some point in the future. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. They're both about the same. I'm quite happy with that. There might be a little bit of change in need when we put the car down on the ground a bit later on. Caddy's the same on all four corners, isn't it? The Golf just needs a bit of ET. So I think we're just going to go for that. I'm going to get all of this sorted, get these rims all painted, mounted to the car. We'll come back, check them out, and then it'll be time to finish off these beautiful cars. Just a few little bits to do in the engine bay and chroming out all the exhaust, and they'll be done and all ready. But so far, so good. They are looking fantastic. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'll be back from the magic of television in just a moment. I'm not going to lie to you all, this has been one of the funnest videos I have made. It has been a lot of fun trying to get these two cars to match each other, and I think I've done a pretty good job. We're not quite finished yet, though. We've still got a few bits left to go. I haven't topped up any liquids. We have changed all the exhaust. I haven't changed it, but I've gone and painted so it all matches in a chrome. Before, you would have noticed the pipes weren't chrome, but some of these parts were, along with that front exhaust section. So I've painted all of this in the same chrome now. Also, if we jump up here, I have painted these lovely shocks in a black and red, sort of finishing in with the rest of the build. And we obviously had red bushings anyway, but I haven't really painted any of the suspension on this one. It's been a lot of work anyway. If we jump up to the front, on our front shocks, you can see there the spring and caps are invisible, but when you paint them and install them on the car, they will show up black. If you then exit the game to main menu and then come back in, they will show as invisible. Obviously, I've already done that, so you don't have to see it. But there we go. That's looking good on there. But the log out and log back in, or main menu to game, has also fixed my sway bar end links not lining up in the right place. So that's also good on there. The engines are a little bit stripped because we've got some parts painted ready to go on. You're going to see all of them in a minute. But that's the Caddy. Onto the other side for the Golf. As you can see, we've done, again, all of the chroming all the way through up this. This was all custom exhaust, so it pretty much all needed chroming anyway, apart from that front exhaust section. Did the same thing for the rear shocks. Did them in a lovely little red and black on there. And if we come back up to the front, we did the same thing with the shocks on these. Painted the springs and caps invisible so that they don't pop through the engine bay as much, and it has also fixed our sway bar end links as well. That's pretty much all we've painted on this one. The rest of the underside is as it was. We have got a few little bits to go on the engine, but we'll get both of these cars back down first. We might as well go all the way onto the ground because I don't don't think there's anything else I have to pit on. So let's get on with these last few bits of the engine bay. Before we do that, look, now you can see there's a little bit of clipping through from the inside of them shocks. I could have just painted that invisible. You're not really ever going to see it, but I like the way it's turned out, even if it does still have a little bit of clipping. Not as bad as it was before with the whole, as you can see, if I hover over it there, it was all sticking up through. Same on the other side. If I can get it to highlight, there we go. All pretty big. We have done the intake, the air filter, whatever you want to call it, in the body matched grey, along with some red clips on there. But let's get in and get this engine all back together. We'll start with the head cover on the top here. As you can see, they're doubled up because I've still got to do the other side. That's in a body matched grey, looking pretty good. Hopefully this is all going to tie together when it comes in. The timing cover on the side, also in that body matched grey as well. Looking very nice. Crankshaft pulley, normal colour on that one. We didn't do anything. Same with the belts. Haven't even changed them. And I've pretty much always painted my belts. And we're going to slap a red roller on there just to finish it all off. Obviously not red in the centre, so we can still keep the separation between our red bolt. We've also got a fully matte black intake manifold. Didn't do anything to the fuel rail on there, just leaving it as it was. There's a few splashes of red and black in there with a few bits of chrome to make it look good. I also did nothing on the throttle, so that's got its chrome and a little bit of that factory red on there as well. And we also did absolutely nothing to the ignition coils. And I'll say nothing else on this engine that we did pre-buy, pre-tuned up and ready to go at the beginning. So I haven't painted anything else on it apart from what I've just advised you of over there. So let's get on and make the Caddy up to the same space. On we go. Let's just crack on. It really doesn't matter which order. I'm just going to whiz through this as quickly as I possibly can to get all this back together. And we've got to get the liquids topped up. And then we'll get our beautiful matching pair all finished off. Oh, I've got to pick a license plate. Haven't done a license plate for it yet. So I've got to do that. I mean, realistically, is it just going to be Mark 1 Golf, Mark 1 Caddy? Can I even fit that on 2 license plates? I don't know. It is a matching pair, though. So I think Mark 1's got to be in there, just so that they're both clearly a Mark 1. But what else do we put on it? Just Volkswagen Mark 1 set? VW MK1 SET? Pair. VW MK1. No, pair's not going to fit. Set it'll have to be, I think. I think that's the only way we're going to get that to work. Have I got everything else in here? I think so, and that should be everything apart from the liquids topped up. 100%, 100%, 100%. As you can see, the shocks again, painted invisible, so they're not really sticking through as much. There's a little bit just on the engine bay in there, but we can live with that. This one here, all 100% as well. That is what we like. Let's get them hoods closed down. Have tinted the windows. The front and sides are the same. I think they're 90 on the Caddy, because this one can be a bit darker. The rear is at 100. On the Golf, the front windows are all 70. A lot lighter, but not really any actual lighter. And the backs are all 100 all the way around. I did also pit 1% on the front bumper there, which you can do on the Golf, just to take the orange bulb out of there, because the Caddy doesn't have one. And you can't do anything with the front lights on the Caddy. So I just matched them up a little bit more. But apart from that, it's all looking pretty good. They are all 100% finished. As I said, we're not going to be racing these today. This is just a matching pair. So I'm going to go and grab some beautiful photographs. We'll get these outside in the sun. I'm also not going to do a cost rundown or anything like that. It is just what it is. We will do their sale value and stuff like that when we come to it towards the end. I have no idea how much money I've spent, so I can't do that, obviously, because I've built 2 builds. I don't know what I've spent on which, but we will talk about their sales prices, and we'll also get these beasts onto the dyno. But so I'm going to go grab some pictures, just so I can show off a little bit on Discord, on my Facebook page, and things like that. Links are all in the description if you want to go join me on my Discord, or on the Red Dot Games Discord server, should I say. My Facebook link's in there, my Instagram link's in there, and my X/Twitter, or X, previously known as Twitter, links are in there as well. Go check them out. Not much on there, just I sometimes do early posts on some of my builds showing off some stuff, and also I always keep everybody up to date with all of the videos I release on those. So there we go. I'm gonna grab some photos. We'll be back in a minute, get these outside in the sun, and then we'll do a beautiful dyno, see what power these two are pushing out. Almost done with our pair of Mark 1 Volkswagens, looking absolutely fantastic in their matching colours, liveries, and almost there on the body kits. Quite very close, not quite perfect. Obviously, this one's got quite a bit of a body kit bumper on it, and the Caddy does not. It has quite a smoothed rear bumper, if we're being truly honest, but they both look fantastic nonetheless. We've got rear license plates on these ones, so we've just got a little bit of changing to do. Off with that blank one. And for the Caddy, we're going with Mark 1, 1 of 2, showing that it is a matching set. And if we go down over to the Golf, that one's obviously going to have a Mark 1, 2 of 2, finishing off that perfect matching pair. Looking absolutely fantastic. They've both got the same engine in, so I'm just going to jump in at the Caddy ever so quickly, get it started up. We'll just have a quick listen to this one. A little bit of the underside clipping through there. And then you've got that turbo whistle just at the top end. I do like a bit of turbo whistle. And for argument's sake, let's just go over to the Golf and see if it sounds any different. Then we'll get both of these onto the dyno and see what kind of power they're producing today. Come on, you little beauty. Obviously, exactly the same. Still with that turbo whistle. The same sounding car. It is pretty fantastic. I do quite like it, though. I mean, a lot of people complain about the engine noises in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. And yes, they're not perfect, but they're pretty good for what it is. Think about the amount of engines, different cars, different exhaust audio sounds there would be in real life. How much work would that take the small team from Red Dot Games to get done? It would be, I mean, we'd never see another game if that's what everyone wanted. So we'll see how the audio sounds in the next game when it comes out. But for the minute, let's get both of these little beauties onto the dyno, see what their horsepower is and what their drag rating will be. We're not going to race them today. This video is already too long and I apologise. So we're just going to get them dynoed, show the scores, and then we'll do a little bit of fancy taking a look at them very briefly before we end this video. So here we go, onto the dyno. Let's see what this little i4 is pumping out then for our beautiful Caddy. It's 279 factory horsepower on this one. We've obviously fully tuned that ECU, so we're going to get a bit more of that. I'm not going to show you the gear ratios for these because I'm just going to leave them as they were. So let's go. Let's see how this turns out for our Caddy. How much will we have gained today with our performance tuning and tuning that ECU? I meant to say performance parts and tuning that ECU, but it came out wrong. But we'll take a look nonetheless. The beautiful little Caddy. Which one do you think is going to have more power? Is it going to be the Caddy or the Golf? Put your answers in the comments below. We will find out in just a moment. Come on, you little Caddy. What have you got then? Pumping out 688 horsepower, 410 power gain. Almost an engine and a half. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. With a drag rating of 720 from the Caddy. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't prepared for that. Not in any way, shape or form was I prepared for that. But there we go. That's the Caddy. 688 total horsepower. 720. Let's compare it to the Golf. Will the Golf beat the Caddy? 244 horsepower from this engine inside the Golf compared to the 279 in the Caddy. Will it gain 410 of the A720 in its drag rating? Or will it beat the Golf? Let's find out. Come on, you. Will it beat the Caddy, I meant to say, not the Golf? Well, there we go. Not quite as much gained. 353 horsepower, 145%, so it's still very, very good. Taking us up to 597 horsepower and a slightly lower drag rating of A694. The Caddy had A720, gained 410 horsepower and had a total of 688. So by a little over, well, by around 100 horsepower, the Caddy beats out the Golf, and I'm happy with that because if I could have either one of the two, it would definitely be the Caddy. If I could only have one, that is. If I could have both, I would 100% have both. But there we go. They've both been dynoed. Let's get back outside in the sun, take another quick little look at these cars before we move on and say goodbye for this video. It'll be time to say goodbye, but then in the next video, we're going to be doing Car Dealer Simulator. I've been granted early access to the full game. It is coming out next week. I'll be playing it. I'll be playing it straight away as soon as I finish this video, basically, and then I'm going to do a video from there. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that one. But there we go. Enough of that. Let's get back outside and see what's going on with these beautiful cars. Well, there we go then. That's everything for the Caddy and Golf. A beautiful matching pair, a lovely set. You've got 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, the Caddy and the Golf. Obviously, the Caddy had a bit more power with 688 total horsepower, a gain of 410 and putting it in A720 of the drag class. The Golf managed to top out at 597 horsepower, a gain of 353 and putting it at A694 in the drag racing class. So not that much difference between them, but a big enough difference nonetheless. As you can see on screen now, the Caddy will sell for 138,429 since we've fully completed it, and the Golf will sell for 123,522, and they are both some very good looking cars. I'm very glad I did these. Both of these are by Multiply on his Patreon. The Caddy is free. I think the Golf is a paid for subscription, but you should definitely head over and check them out. Link is in the description below, so you can go and grab them if you want to yourself. As I said, the Caddy is free. There's no reason not to sign up and grab the Caddy. It's a beautiful little truck, my favourite build of all time, and the Golf is on there as well, as long as a selection of other Multiply bits, which are all absolutely fantastic. Ending on some B-roll, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's stuck around while I haven't been making videos, while I've been dealing with my mental and physical health. You're all absolute legends, especially my channel members. Thank you all so much for continuing to contribute over the past sort of 2 or 3 months where I haven't been doing anything, if I'm being truly honest. I've pretty much spent the most time at laying in bed. So thank you all. I will say I completely understand if you do want to end your memberships. I completely get it, but especially because I won't be doing as many custom builds going forward for the time being, at least anyway. Hopefully if I start getting better, then maybe we will start doing a bit more and coming into this game a little bit more. But for the most part, I'm more excited for the next installment of Car Mechanic Simulator. Whenever that comes, we know it's in the works. We're all excited. We're all waiting for it, and I'm hoping it's going to be absolutely fantastic. In the meantime, in the next video, as I said before, we'll be checking out Car Dealer Simulator by the guys over at Garage Monkeys. Absolutely fantastic game. I did the prequel, whatever you want to call the early demo that they had. They've given me access to this game for free, so I'm going to look forward running through a few bits on that, and I hope you'll enjoy it too. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.